I yelled at my phone during Flash.
How many notes I have for Supergirl?
How many of them are bad?
Just this much.
Because it'd be that much for me.
Oh, yeah, this and this are all positive.
Oh, nice, nice. Her character wasn't in Supergirl, so I was like, nah. Do you know who my favorite character is?
Alex?
Of course. Why is there a question mark at the end of that?
Well, for a second I was like, I thought she was in it, but then I was like, oh wait, she wasn't really in it.
No, she had to do Thursday morning knife fight for the entire episode.
Worked fine for me. Anyways.
Well, hi guys, we are Nerd Jams, and we're back after the 84-year-long hiatus.
Welcome back. It's been
Jadon,
like, what, a month?
Yeah. Jadon changed his hair again.
Yes, I did.
He gets bored, apparently.
Yeah. I can never, just stick with one thing, so I like to switch it up. Keep it fresh.
Sounds about right. I guess I should put a timer on. We did not post our other video until the hiatus was over, thinking that maybe that would give you guys a refresher on that, and I still haven't finished the second version for the Arrow and Legends, but I'll get there. Don't you worry. If you're actually watching, it'll come up. Oh, it's really dark, isn't it? Anyways.
No.
My hair.
Oh, your hair.
Not the video.
It looks fine. The lighting is fine.
We can see you. So as always, we'll start, well, not as always, but this time we'll keep it in order. We're going to go Supergirl, Flash, Arrow.
Yep.
So we'll kick it off with Supergirl. Jadon has more good notes than bad notes for this episode.
This might be, like, at least top 3 of my favorite episodes of Supergirl.
Interesting.
I thought it was a real change from what they usually do. I mean, from like the regular tone and, writing of the show.
It definitely was a different feel.
That's weird though, because like when I saw the title was Ace Reporter, I rolled my eyes so hard they almost fell out of my head. But I'm actually fine with it, seeing the episode, so let's get into it.
So we'll just jump around as we always do. As soon as I saw Snapper Carr in James's office with Kara, it's like, well, she's getting her job back.
Yeah, I figured.
And I'm happy about it though.
Yeah, I figured she'd get her job back, but I'm not upset with it.
Nope.
Well, let's just jump into that, like everything surrounding her job, because, my problem with this whole thing is that she it's just one of those things where it's like Iris on The Flash, where she has, actually Iris had a little bit of background in writing.
Right.
But it's just like, there's no reason for them to become a reporter other than the writers thought it'd be fun and they want to be writing and they want to write a Superman show, but they got stuck with Supergirl. So.
I was just about to say either that or, they couldn't come up with something else. They had to make her Clark Kent.
Yeah, because if you don't know, I think it was before New 52, so before 2011. I think Kara was an artist. I think that was her job, which I still would prefer to her doing. But I feel like she actually earned her spot as a reporter. I was surprised by how many people died. Like, just straight up got murdered, and I was really happy with it.
Same, because it sets a tone, and it's a better tone. We're so dark. This is nothing. Have me watch The Walking Dead. I just want them to kill children all the time.
Oh gosh.
I hate them, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, most of the children are the worst, but
like on Arrow. Just wait. I'm gonna go off about that.
Okay.
Anyways, yes, one of my favorite things is just like in Man of Steel, one of my favorite scenes. It was definitely more impactful.
Yeah.
In Man of Steel is when Clark is in Kal-El is in the courthouse, and it just gets blown to pieces, and every single person in there is obliterated, and he just closes his eyes because he's not affected at all. And so it definitely was done, not necessarily done better, but it was done in a harsher way in Man of Steel. But I really enjoyed that in the car that Kara gets, she flies out, and then you see the despair on her face. And
I didn't like that part because I didn't like the way she acted that. It was just like, stop it. Also, it was just really dumb that, like, her clothes are all pretty much fine. There's a little bit, there's a little bit of flames on them, but there's just like this gaping hole just to show the show the shield. But I liked it until it showed her flying out because that looked weird and wonky. But I liked the explosion, and I was wondering, did you think it was a homage to PBS? Do you think that was kind of what they were doing? Because they did do a Man of Steel homage later in the show, in this episode.
You have to remind me. It definitely could be. They've slipped them in several times this season, and several in the last few episodes with the Ocean of Stars,
I like that one.
the Zod message, and other things. So it definitely could be. Maybe not a nod. Maybe the writers are just freaking lazy. Anyways,
that could be it. But well, I'll just.
And then who else? Then 2 other people died, right?
Yeah, the guy who was talking to Snapper, his source, and I hated her reaction to that guy dying because it came off as really, just, petty. I guess she's like, well, my source got eaten alive by nanobots or something. And I was like, screw you, that dude just died. But yeah, that guy, and then I think it was just 2. I want to say just 2 people.
That we saw, I think so. It was her source and Snapper's.
Yeah. And then I don't remember anyone else dying.
Well, I mean, Jack died.
Yeah, which I hope he'll be back. Yes, he was amazing. Yes. I might watch iZombie now because he was great.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And he is incredibly charming.
Yes.
Good old Brit.
He killed it.
And I would comment on his chemistry with Lena Luthor, but Katie McGrath will have chemistry with a table chair.
But I feel like I feel like they did though have a really good.
But yeah, they have great chemistry.
I mean,
but there's something about that woman.
Yeah. But I just felt like when they were talking, you just feel that they had a connection, that there were sparks between them, that there was a lot of history there, and I don't know. Like I wrote a whole bunch of notes about just I can't remember I forgot to look up the actor's name, but...
Oh my gosh, I knew it until you said it, because it's all over Tumblr.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jeez.
Are they trying... I'm guessing they either hate him or love him. Hate him because he gets in the way of their whole...
Supercore?
Yeah.
Or Supercorp?
Stupid thing. Which I felt like they laid that on really heavy.
Oh, that was something I was going to bring up, is whether you, because remember we like to look at other people's perspectives, if you feel like they're still baiting the fandom.
I felt like it was really heavy. Because it was just the end of that scene, though, where Kara says, I'll protect you, or whatever. That was just a little bit too thick. I mean, everything else before that was just perfect. It was. I
agree. I don't see it, and again, it's Katie McGrath has chemistry with everyone. And she did an interview recently that where the actress mentions that she's played gay characters in the past, and so you get the following. Well, also another show called Dates.
Sounds like.
So you get the following and such, and lesbians are very loyal to their fictional characters.
Yes, if we've learned anything,
And she's like, I don't read it that way in the script, and I don't feel we're playing it that way. And then after reading some things from the fandom, I'll look back on it and be like, oh, okay, I see that. Now, however, if you're a fan of Morgana and you've watched any of Merlin, and you've watched any of the commentary, she talks about it between her and her sister. What is the sister's name? The blonde. Morgause. She's like... That's weird. It's so funny, though. Katie's like, y'all really laid it on thick right here, didn't... And then the director or the producer or the writer, whoever's doing the commentary with her, he's like, that's all you two. That's all you two playing into it. It's really funny, though.
That's weird. I never saw it that way. I just saw it as like a sister and...
Well, I text you right away, and I was like, okay, this is easy. This is either a future lover or her sister.
I can't remember what my reply was, but it was on the lines of yuck or something.
Anyways, so the actress is somewhat aware of it, and I don't think it's a conscious effort. I don't think they're baiting us. I really don't. I'm sorry if you disagree. If they're baiting us with anything, it's Sandverse. Give me more. And the fandom was right. I take it back from the last video. Maggie wasn't in 218. Good job.
You brought it up, because you said my favorite character, and I was like...
Maggie? Alex? Alex was in it for 2 seconds.
But I was fine with it because they used the characters they needed to, and they used them well.
Whatever, we don't need Win and Lyra and Guardian.
I actually loved it.
I hated it.
I actually wrote in my notes, like, and this is
Let's
so
just
weird.
Jump on into that one. We'll come back to Lena and Jack.
I love that scene, because one, it was cool just to watch, to see a quick little fight scene, but then his whole reaction of, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? When he opens the door, but like, the way that
that
his
was
voice
funny.
sounded was hilarious.
However, and go back and watch this. James freaks out when Win says his name, and he's like, "You told her?" He was removing his helmet before Win said anything. James is pulling his helmet. Oh, go back and watch it. He's pulling his helmet off, and as he's like right here, Win says his name, and he goes, "Oh, dude, you told her? You were just about to reveal it yourself. Are you just pissed off you didn't get to?"
I did write down though that he has this habit of pulling off his helmet and standing out in
the middle
outside of the van and just like right in the middle of the street. But
I liked the Win and Lyra until the whole like fight where she goes absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah, that was another thing where like it's just a little bit too thick.
Yes.
Where it's like then she breaks the glass and then she had a great line of like I don't know, whatever. Anyways, but like she has her line but then like she throws like another tantrum where like she throws something or something, but it's just a little bit too much. But
what's their play here? She doesn't have a mask on or anything, so she's out there fighting. They're gonna know it's her. Yeah. Then they're gonna see them hanging out together. They're just very stupid with their secret identities.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in Arrow too. But I'm really surprised because like I hate James for the most part, but I didn't have a problem with him.
He was tolerable
this entire episode. And like I even wrote down that I would not be mad at a Win Guardian spinoff.
Oh God, I'd rather a Sanders spinoff of them fighting crime together. Why not?
Because because at least they have the crime fighting aspect with Win and Guardian. But then there's just
I literally just said Sanders fighting crime. It's a detective.
I didn't hear the I was yelling at you. Obviously I didn't hear that
But
part.
at least they're a detective. So it could be like vigilante detectives or Alex could be a vigilante and the detective would help her with cases. That makes more sense than a Win Guardian spinoff. Anyways, neither is going to happen.
Yeah, neither is ever going to happen. Let's see.
But yeah, what is their play here? What are we doing? Where's Lyra going? What's going to happen with this? We'll see.
Yeah, I wonder if she'll probably will she be in the next season, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know the actress's name. The only ones, again, I've heard are Maggie is signed on as a series regular, Lena Luthor, and I'm not 100% sure on Chris Wood still.
Yeah, I didn't really like what they did with him this episode, except for, I was writing that, I was like, poor use of Mon-El, but then right as I was writing that, he stole the key card, and I was like, oh, nice!
But then again, pretty much all of it is poor use of Mon-El.
Yeah.
We could do so much more. Yeah. So, Lena fighting, I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Which is funny, though, earlier in the episode, I don't remember why it popped into my head. There was something that she and Kara were talking doing, and I was like, I just don't see Katie McGrath, like, actually being all that strong and fighting. And then, of course, they have her fight. My favorite line of the whole episode, did I mention I'm a black belt?
Yeah.
Boom! Did I mention I'm a Luther? Or no, she says it first. Huh?
Yeah, I was about to burst out laughing about how stupid that line was until she said, did I mention I'm a Luther?
And it definitely hit well.
Yeah, it hit well.
And I loved it because she denies the whole Luther so often and wants to change the reputation. But deep down, she's a Luther.
Yeah, and that brings me, it's like towards the end of the episode where she had that great talk about like how she doesn't feel anything right now or something, but she's like, every time I think about Did she say a thing about her dying in prison or just being in prison?
I don't remember.
But she's like, I feel cold, and then it's like whenever I think about that, it warms me up a little bit, and I'm afraid of I'm afraid of when I'll start feeling again because of what
I'll do when if the bad is what's making her feel good.
And that was all great.
Okay, so she signed on for what looks like 2 more seasons. Are they making her evil? Because this is definitely foreshadowing. It's definitely laying the groundwork. Great scene of her losing Jack, by the way.
Yeah.
And him telling her, do it, and she has to make that choice. And then, of course, the Supercore shippers are all about how You know, she saved Supergirl over Jack.
It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts how some people can't just let things be what they are. And yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that was a great scene. What it feels like what I've wanted them to do with her character is what they did in Smallville with Lex and Clark, where when you meet Lex at the beginning of Smallville, it's very ambiguous of whether, like, he's a really good guy. He's very altruistic, and he wants to help people. He, like, wants nothing more than be part of a family, part of the Kent family. And, you know, further on, you just see him slipping more and more. And right now, I'm starting to get that kind of feeling, same feeling with Lena right now, where you start to see her slipping a little bit. But, you know, she wants to be a good person.
Yeah.
I think that's genuine, so.
We'll see. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They released some sides, and I believe they're audition sides. Oh. And obviously sometimes things get released that are inaccurate. Apparently the Power Rangers movie leaked their audition lines, and it was other movies, like The Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
That's normal. Yeah.
So obviously it could be incorrect, but supposedly the CW people were pretty upset that it got leaked, and it is Lena talking very evilly to Kara and saying something about it's hard to be genuine when you're begging from your knees or something like that to Kara.
Oh.
So
that's a very good line.
Right? Oh. Whatever the line is, it was actually really good.
Yeah. We've
said from the get-go, we think she's
that's very
evil.
standard. Is like they'll see they'll test to see if they can do something. Doesn't mean they're going to be able to do that character, but they just want to know that they can pull it off if they need to.
Oh, she can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got about 5 minutes.
Okay. So the Man of Steel homage was when Kara was flying around the hangar trying to distract the Jack nanobites. It's from the last act of Man of Steel where he's trying to destroy the world engine, and those claw arms are trying to get
her. Okay.
Yeah. So another cool homage. I like that one. I thought the nanites, for the most part, they looked really good. Like, especially when she was freezing them in the apartment, that looked really cool.
Yes.
When they were when they first show him where they're healing his hand. That was especially really cool. But then there were, of course, some times where it just looked really wonky.
A lot of it was when they were flying around.
Yeah, and when they were with Jack, because he has a beard, so his face looks a little bigger, but you can't see the beard when he's in nanite mode. So his head looked a little weird. Oh. So it looked a little bigger than it should.
He's a very handsome guy.
Yeah, he is. Very, very handsome, I'll say Indian fellow. I don't know if that's where he's from, but...
And what about the twist that he was not the bad guy?
I saw that coming a mile away.
Oh yeah, as soon as they started talking about, or as soon as they introduced her.
Yes, as soon as they introduced her the same thing on stage.
Yes.
And she has that earpiece for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like the whole... Normally they're very heavy-handed on trying to trick us.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like they did that. For a good bit of it, I was like, he doesn't seem like he's evil. So.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think he'll be back?
I think it's possible.
Yeah, there's definitely a
window
there.
I don't know if the actor's going to want to come back, because I'm pretty sure that he got a lot of crap on Twitter from crazy people.
About, just because they want Supergirl?
Yeah, people...
People ruin things.
I don't know if it's teenagers or if it's just sad adults or what it is that are literally sending death threats and stuff to these people, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. I understand actors and actresses have to be able to let it roll off their skin, but he tweeted, and I only saw it because it's on Tumblr, because everybody's posting, please be nice, please don't treat him this way. But he tweeted a thing, he retweeted somebody saying, I hope your character dies, some blah, blah, blah. At least they said character. But he just goes, oh, gee, Monday's going to be fun. or a small break from social media on Monday or something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I can't remember where it is. I know it was this last Comic-Con. But it's first, I can't remember which show, but a villain came out and were a really good villain. And they came out and people started booing them, and their co-stars were like, what do you, stop. Mm-hmm. You realize he's a person. He's not the actual person. He's just an actor doing a really good job.
Fantastic, usually.
Yeah.
Snapper Carr.
Yes,
I love him. He did so well.
Do you miss Kat as much?
Yes, Kat's coming back. Did you see that I tagged you in that?
No, I didn't.
What's the point of us being on Tumblr?
On what? Oh,
Tumblr.
On Tumblr? I didn't see it.
So yes, Cat Grant is coming back. Superman is coming back. Oh, guys, spoilers. Anything else on this episode? Because we need to talk about something. Because I'm going to put it on record that we're going to argue in the future.
I wanted to talk about something because I was talking.
Let's go.
Well, I was talking about Supergirl on Reddit with someone. On one of the, I can't remember which episode it was, but we were talking about it, and they perfectly pegged down what my problem was. I think with this season, and kind of my problem with this show. They said I could quote them, but and we don't have to get really into it, but it's just a short little thing where it says it's worth noting that Arrow and Legends, especially Legends, both know what kind of show they want to be and are completely unashamed of being that show. Arrow knows it wants to be a dark, awful story about Oliver Queen, and it's not afraid to commit to that darkness and terror. Legends knows it's an all-out dumb show that just wants to have fun and mess around with the time-space stuff, so it does wacko stuff like bringing in George Lucas and with complete gusto, and it's great. A Supergirl, on the other hand, can't decide whether it wants to be a feminist show, a superhero show, a show about romance, or a show about an LGBT couple. And it ends up being seemingly terrified to commit to any one of the four, leading to this ridiculously awful, sometimes hypocritical mix and match mess we've got this season.
In this season. It wasn't that way in the first season.
Yeah, I mean, it was much stronger. Like, they definitely had a much clearer mission statement, I think.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because you and I were texting, and I actually put it in my notes for Arrow, but we can bring it up now, that, oh gosh, hang on, maybe I need to pull up my notes. What was it? It was, excuse me guys, it's okay, you can cut this out if I need to, there you go. That we are very hard to please, that is the one thing, but it's, so Supergirl doesn't have a big bad this season. It's been all over the place, and then, you know, Savitar is the Flash's big bad, but it's excuse our language, I love the way you said this, so it's been in my head all the way, it's big cock tease on who Savitar is. So
I nailed down
and then
why
Arrow is Prometheus. So we know they're big bads, but it's like, we're very hard to please, because Supergirl is all over the place with hers, so we're like, give us a reason. And then Flash gives us one, but they've drug it out so long that we don't know who it is. And then Arrow, I think, has done the best this season, except they gave us the vigilante guy. That's just...
Yeah, like...
So it's...
Well, I mean, Guggenheim just needs to shut up. Like, he's talking about next season, he's like, it's gonna... Maybe we won't reveal it, maybe we won't, but it's gonna be this whole thing of, you know, who's under the mask. And it's like, people are done with that.
So we have to also think about it, though. Arrow's bad season was... Well, season 4 was pretty awful.
Back half of season 3... and season 4. It
kind of got away from what it was. And Supergirl had a home on the CBS, and it is different. And they had a different time slot on CBS, and it's a different network in general. So they could show a little bit more of a dark side, because I feel like they were darker in this first season. Slightly. Not as dark as Arrow or anything, not even as dark as Flash, but you know, they had a Red Tornado episode where Kara goes... and then Red Kryptonite and The Black Mercy, all 3 great episodes where we get dark themes and angst, and
I mean, it's...
and a feminist. But then this season, I think, like I've said before, I'm gonna give it to season 3. We'll see if they can figure their crap out, because the last couple episodes seem to be going going somewhere, and I do agree though with the whole they don't know if they want to be a romance or about the feminist side of it, or a superhero show. They don't have a direction at the moment.
Maybe it was because I think maybe it was the post where they were talking about they're bringing Zod.
Oh yeah, that was the other one. That's what I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Well, that and...
I personally, like, I don't have a problem with them doing different incarnations on different shows, but... Okay, just so you know, Michael Shannon's Zod in Man of Steel is my favorite comic book villain ever, even above Heath Ledger as a Joker. What they did with that character was just so perfect and so nuanced and layered. It was just, I have a hard time, you know, I'll see what they do with Zod, this on Supergirl, but it's just like, Michael Shannon's my guy. But from the pictures of him, it's just like, he looks like another...
They've already shown pictures of him?
Yeah, there's a picture of him on set.
Where am I?
Yeah, it's just... I think he's doing like a thumbs up or something, but it's just... Someone put a picture of him next to Michael Shannon, of course, but it's like... I know CW, you have a small budget, but like... please try to be better, because like, it was just like a gray suit. He's just wearing a gray suit with like this little emblem on the side. And it was just like... Cool.
I think that's probably some of Supergirl's issues in the fandom. So Arrow has die-hard Arrow fans that had issues with the whole Laurel Lance thing and Felicity. Anyways, so it's... I'm not a comic book fan, so I don't know these characters. And where I thought Red Tornado looked just fine for what it was. Exactly. You knew what it should look like. So I think that's one problem with them constantly bringing in known villains, is that you're going to have so many people unhappy because there's been a better portrayal or this or that. And that's just how it's got to be. Just like if there's a TV Flash and a movie Flash now, and the comparisons are going to be endless.
But it's kind of like it's that, but it's also a bit of it's clear that the writers just want a Superman show, and there's like, well, they're just putting everything they would put in that show into Kara, into Supergirl, kind of in some ways, like of course she's a reporter now, and
that still bugs me. I even text you right away. Well, it bugs me that Supergirl came after Superman, and yes, it was way back in the day, so it makes more sense that they didn't have any original ideas. They just threw in a female comic book character and over-sexualized her, and gave her all of the same characters but different names. Lucy Lane is Lois Lane's sister, and you have Lena Luthor is Lex Luthor's sister. It's like,
I don't think
really, do the Luthors have to be super? You know what I mean? Like, it's very weird that they do all that. And they created Alex, and it's funny when I read on these sites that very, very few people, but there are a few that say that she is a pointless character, that she's one of the worst characters on the show, and I think that she's obviously the most original. But I think she's one of the best characters, and her relationship with Kara is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with the worst character with like the last couple episodes where we talked about how she hasn't been Alex for a while. But I mean, yeah, I agree. She's a great original character. I think she's a great character, and she has a good relationship and back and forth with Kara.
And so it's just, I don't necessarily think that they want a Superman show and they're putting it. I just think that they are trying to use known DC villains and stories, and they're just not doing a very good job of it.
That's what's upset. I mean, but the thing is, like, it's like they're using all these Superman characters, but it's like Superman light. So that they're not using Brainiac, but they're using Indigo. They're not using Lex Luthor.
But that's what the comic book was.
Kinda, but they started out really well in season 1 because they had Maxwell Lord, who was a formidable.
And that's what I've talked about, though. Because of the move from Los Angeles to Vancouver, we don't have Max Lord. We don't have Peter Fasinelli. We don't have Cat Grant. So they have had to shift it, and they have not necessarily done a great job.
Yeah, and it feels lazy. It feels lazy because, like, instead of just thinking about another original character that they can, bring over, it's just like, well, let's just throw in a Luthor.
Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe it's not lazy, maybe it's rushed, because the switch was very last minute. As far as writing. Someone once told me when it comes to TV, a lot of times shows have their first 3 seasons written. And that's why they can tail off after 3 seasons. Dark Angel did it after 1 season. Like, that show just went, watch it. Buffy kind of lost its way a little bit in season 4. It got a little crazy and pulled right back in by the time you got to season,
same thing.
Kind of flipped. But they also flipped. They also flipped networks after season 5, and there was a difference. It was a darker theme. Anyways, we are running out of time. So I feel like this season is a result of the network change, losing some of the characters.
Well, but I feel like the go-to cure for that then is to, instead of going, well, let's figure out something to do for 24 episodes, then let's go, well, okay, we're on new network.
Half season.
We have limited time, so we don't have a lot of time to figure out something, so let's just make it shorter.
So, but that's on CW, though. It's kind of the same as when you have a 13-episode season that gets extended halfway, then they're just scrambling, trying to figure out the rest of the season. That's happened in season 1. Season 1 of Supergirl.
That's what happened with Lucifer this season. As they said, well, you know what? We're doing really well. We're going to greenlight season 3, so let's give you 3 more episodes. And they're like, nah. I mean, because we don't want to, because they said we don't want to lose the story that we have, so we're just going to use that later, next season, so.
Well, they were in a place to do that. Maybe Supergirl wasn't. They were kind of in the abyss trying to find a home.
Well, no, it was very sudden. They're like, here, have a couple episodes and write something and do something. It's like, nah, we'll use it later.
Well, we are over time, so I will bring if we have a little bit of time at the end, we'll bring back to that. Anything else very particular that you want to talk about this episode?
Very
well acted. I felt like it was well written. Good direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I said most of my quibbles or whatever. Yeah. There weren't a lot, so.
I'm super excited for episode 19. It's titled Alex, and Alex gets kidnapped, and we're gonna see Maggie freak out, and Kara, and they have to work together, and they're gonna fight. And there's a line in the promo where they're having dinner together, and Maggie tells Kara, "You always leap without looking." "Yeah, that's because I can fly," is her response, and I'm so ready for it.
That's a stupid. There is something that I missed.
The best.
Yeah, it's just like right here.
How is that stupid?
This is a stupid reply for that because it makes no sense. I can fly.
You never look before you leap, is what she says, and the Kara's response is, "Yeah, because I can fly." I thought it was a great response.
Whatever. What I really loved, what made the whole getting her job back and everything fine and great with me, she apologized.
Yes.
She apologized, and it was sincere, and it was humble, and there was no witty retort or whatever to
Yes.
to reassert herself. It was just, "I'm sorry, I made mistakes. It was unprofessional," and
Snapper took responsibility.
Yes.
I was lucky. She did say that. I didn't mean to cut you off. But Snapper said, "I've been waiting for the apology," but he said I should have maybe taken a longer look at it.
Yeah. So. It was great. I love him. He makes me miss Kat less.
I mean, a little bit.
Because he feels that role very well, where it's like, it's that mean, grouchy older person that she has to, somehow work out a relationship with. So.
Yes, but he's rooting for Ponytail, so it's fine. I still love that line.
And he cooks. He cooks. That was great.
All right, on to the Flash.
Yep.
All right, I was not there for Caitlin Snow the first time when she went dark.
Go ahead.
I loved it. I loved her. I would have liked more of them with Killer Frost.
So that was my whole problem with this episode. Well, not my whole problem. But they even mentioned it, like as I was writing and putting that as a quibble. But because they introduced this whole thing where Caitlin she's gone dark side, and Barry, being the selfish a-hole that he is, goes, "Well, I'm gonna go to the future, so we'll deal with this later." But it's like, and then he addresses it and he says, whenever I come back, I can come back right to when I left. No time has passed. So it's like, so deal with your friend, put your own issues aside for a second, and then we can have the episode where they capture or try to capture Caitlin, and she goes to Saboteur or whatever, and then you can have the future Flash episode. But so that whole time, so the whole episode, I was just like, this isn't the episode that we should be having right now.
The whole episode, it was pointless.
Yeah, nothing was learned.
Why? So he goes to the future. And then he wants to leave because he's not learning anything. And this is my whole big thing with time travel. Then he says, "Cisco, I can't help you. I'm going to leave." And he changes his mind. "I can't leave the future broken like this." You don't change the future in the future. You change the future by changing the past.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
This is when I yelled at my phone. And that's exactly what I yelled at my phone. It's just, it's so stupid. What did we need to see that, okay, why can't Cisco vibe without his hands?
I thought about that for a second, but then it's like, well, it's like, he can vibe, like, I think he can, see into the different realities and stuff, but he can't use his powers, like, in a, a combative way without his hands, so.
Fine. No point whatsoever for the team to get back together for him to go fight those two, whatever they were.
Yeah.
Also, why would Barry go against, what is her name? Mirror guy, whatever that was.
Mirror Master. I like him.
What is the name? The girl?
Top. I think Top.
Like T-O-P?
Yeah, like Twister, like as in like a top. that spins.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but they gave her the powers of Count Vertigo.
That's why I was confused.
Like in the comic books, that's what Count Vertigo's power is. He looks at people and they go all wonky.
So I hadn't seen these two before. It's obviously when I wasn't watching.
I swear we had a review of that episode.
No, I've never seen her before.
Because there was in this season that she was introduced.
Well, maybe.
I think you missed stuff.
Maybe. But remember, I also came in halfway through the season. Anyways, I was like, is this chick Vertigo or in the future? But you already know she's kicked your butt once. Why did Barry go up against her again with no protection? As soon as she looks at him, he's whammied again.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he stands there and he's just bantering and letting it happen.
Yes, exactly.
Although it did look cool. Like, it did.
The second time was better.
Yeah, the second time.
And I had to look away because I have vertigo, and I was like, nope.
Like, their powers complement each other very well.
Yes, it does make sense that they're a team.
I do prefer, like, because in the comic books, Mirror Master is like kind of a gun. But I guess they retconned it in 2011 where he has actual powers. But I do like the old. I like when the supervillains are actually smart and they develop their own technology and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's, what Mirror Master does. There's been a couple of different ones and they all have that,
yes.
Whatever.
But it was pointless for him to go to the future, and it made no sense that the team got back together like that. They just needed a tiny speech from past Barry, and they were all shocked as soon as they see him. Like, what? The guy got a haircut. Which he desperately needs. That hair is awful. Grant Gustin, never wear your hair like that.
Someone on Reddit pointed it out very nicely. It was like, I love how Barry has no time or has no, desire to cut his hair, but he, shaves. I'm glad that he stays clean shaven or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like,
maybe he just can't grow a beard. He has quite the baby
I would have
face.
preferred a fake beard over the gross,
it was so bad,
wet-looking wig.
And his hair's not that black.
No, it's not.
So it makes no sense that growing it long, it would get that black.
And his voice,
was
so annoying.
It was awful.
It sounded like he had a cold,
and like he was half asleep.
I can't watch her die again.
And then who's gonna take it to him? I'll take it.
I'll do it.
It's like, God. Like, it was just bad. It was pointless.
Cisco did a much better job with it, though. Because, he had the whole deadpan,
Yes, he looked completely different. Like, you could tell...
He had the haunted look.
Yeah, haunted.
Very beautiful mind.
And then they show his hands are missing. Okay, HR was funny.
He was great this episode.
He was funny. Except the drumsticks. I was so mad when Caitlin, they're trying to run from Caitlin and he reaches back for him, and which I yelled at, so 2 times during this I also said something to my phone. One of them was when they're locking Caitlin in there. I was like, she knows everything.
Yeah.
But then she's like, my key card still works, you idiots. And then the other one was when Future Cisco, I'm like, why didn't Cisco just get the team together? Like how when Arrow was just like, holla, Diggle and them still get, and then they explained it 2 seconds later. Both times they answered that one. Poor Wally.
I had a small flicker of hate when I saw the drumsticks, but then I let it go just because of how awesome the threesome joke was.
Oh, it was so funny. I was dying.
Him and his groupies were so funny.
Right. But then he's like, I was just about to get what every man dreams of. I died.
I couldn't hate him. Hate him.
He was good. But he still has no point on the team, even in the future.
Yeah.
And once the team got together, Cisco helped. Julian did nothing. Joe did nothing.
See, that's what I wrote down. I was like, what was the point of getting the team together? All you need is Cisco and Julian, because Julian can, if he gets hurt, then he can help him out or whatever. He can help the biological stuff. Cisco's got everything else. You don't need the rest of your cheerleaders.
I mean, I would understand it if this were current and Joe was floundering like that. Yeah, you pull him back into the team. It just still makes this. It was pointless. What was this episode?
It was just comical to watch Mirror Master and Top run away. It was so stupid. It's like, oh, gotta go.
They gotta go. It was. I mean, it was just pointless.
Yeah, I didn't, because and I don't want to sit here and bag on the episode because there were a couple good things, but there's nothing. I didn't feel like anything was learned. We got some information on the Beth, what's her name? Oh, Tracy Brand. Her name's Tracy Brand.
Oh, yeah.
I need to look her up and see if she's anything in the comic books, because I don't know her name from Adam. But, I mean, they got that, but nothing else except, okay, so here's my thing. This might save the whole episode, is if they actually have the balls to kill off Iris, and they use that episode. And yeah, and I think if they use this episode to say, this is all the things that Barry needs to do to make sure he doesn't go down that path, then I am fine with everything that just happened.
That I was actually going to say that's starting to lean towards my prediction, that they are going to kill off Iris, and he's going to learn. But, you know, just give it 2 episodes and another virgin's going to pop up, so it's fine.
I thought you said virgin for a second.
Who'd you say bring back who?
Patty.
His mom?
No. She was his girlfriend in season 3.
Oh, I do. Okay.
She was great. And they misused... I'm so pissed off with her. They misused her. She's one of the most misused characters... Well, let's just say on the channel. The entire channel. In the history of the CW. It was just really bad. But, okay, so... I want to talk about the suit real quick.
Excuse me. Okay.
So I like the new suit. I like the additions. Well, the future suit.
I thought it looked exactly the same. Show me.
Talk a little bit or something.
While you're looking up that.
So you can tell like the belt's different. It's got lightning bolts on the arms. It's brighter. The neck.
So which one's the new one?
This one's the new one. That one's the old one.
Okay.
Like there's lightning bolts, actual lightning bolts on the side of his head.
Like ears.
Yeah, like there's not the giraffe neck anymore.
And it's red.
Yeah, the only thing...
Instead of maroon, it does not have the giraffe neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like it's got bigger shoulders, to make him look a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Like he's not gonna float away.
That hair. Alright. Wally's suit is still awful. Every time they show his face, I just cringe.
It looks better with a little more hair on top.
I think it just looks awful. It makes me think of a Teletubby.
What?
Because the Teletubbies' faces are square.
Yeah. The
right?
mask,
Yep.
The mask kind of, yeah. Let's see.
What else in this episode? I thought it was really well acted, other than, I don't know, Grant Gustin just didn't
Grant Gustin sucked.
Well, future Barry sucked.
I'll say it.
I thought regular Barry did a good job. And I thought Caitlin did a great job.
I thought he was fine, yeah.
Danielle Panabaker. What is with the weird voice thing they do, though?
That bugged me. That was one of my quibbles, but it was driving me.
And who the hell is Savitar? I mean, on one hand, I'm over it, because, come on, why did he have to go from character to character to character in the future? And why would Caitlin Snow, be the typical bad guy and give up your whole plan or everything that you did?
That's a crap. So in my notes I put down introducing future Barry Parker, because it's like the emo Peter Parker. But anyway, so like let's talk about the suit. So we just looked up the suit, and compared them, but I like the new addition, like the new additions they did for the future suit with the lightning bolts and stuff. It looks more comic book accurate, but I hate the color. I know it's a big thing for some reason. It's a big thing with people.
You don't like the brighter red?
No, like a lot of people want the brighter red because that's how it looks like in the comic books.
Well, I was about to say that's the Flash that I expected. That's what I knew. That's what my Converse are.
It looks weird though.
Well, probably because you've gotten used to the bright red.
Well, no, I mean just like the bright red is.
I mean the maroon.
The bright red is just a weird color to have as a suit. Daredevil's suit is also supposed to be bright red, but they went with the darker red because it just looks better. Because like he looked like an action figure sometimes, like a shiny. What's that? Action Man? Is that from Jingle All the Way, the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh my gosh!
He reminded me of that sometimes.
What is that name? Now I'm gonna have to look that up later.
I think his name's Action Man or something.
Is it? Anyways, we'll have to look it up later.
But yeah, it's the only thing I don't like about the suit is the color, and that's a big thing for people. But I like the darker color scheme.
Okay.
Yeah, it just looked really weird sometimes.
What else? Who do you think Savitar is?
I don't care.
And that suit, man, opening that suit up was a bitch. Why did he have to kneel down to get out of it?
Yeah, it made me kind of angry.
What power is that damn thing?
Yeah.
Does he plug it up at night?
Speed Force.
Oh my! Don't even get me started.
Speed Force energy.
I'm still pissed off that Barry Allen had to get whammied by the Star Labs explosion to become the Flash, but the Speed Force is what gives him his powers. It just makes me angry. Every time I see Black Siren use her metahuman powers, I'm just like, they could have at least given him super strength or resistance or something as his, and then the Speed Force deemed him worthy or something. Why does the Speed... Don't even... We can't.
Like, I've told... We've talked about this before, but like, I would tell you, but I think they're going to use it. I think
that's fine.
Definitely going to use it
Then
later.
we can look back on this in the future, you know. Oh, okay, real quick. Time travel crap. Why is Cisco and everyone surprised that Barry's there? He told them he's going to the future. Also, oh gosh, what was it? Oh, so Caitlin... All this crap that happens because he goes to the future. Do you understand? So the future it's so stupid. If Barry doesn't, I don't know how to explain it again. See, this is why time travel makes my head hurt.
Oh, so I kind of just skipped over, but you talked about Killer Frost earlier. I know I was kind of skipping around, but yeah, her voice. I hated her voice. The thing they did with her voice, and I think there's only one episode where I've liked her as Killer Frost. The other time she's just like chewing the scenery so hard and just. But just I can't take her seriously. Whenever she tries to freeze something, she goes like this, like she's.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Like, you know when people say you throw like a girl and it's that that motion, she does that when she freezes stuff, and it drives me nuts. It drives me crazy.
I really liked how she drug her hand across the wall and made things
typical
freeze.
evil.
Yeah, I liked it though. I thought that it wasn't
nice
over the top. But then in the future, I didn't like it. It was just a little too evil villainy with her like laying out her plan and that sort of thing.
Yeah. There's something else. Oh, okay. So this is a big problem I have, and this goes all the way to the Dark Knight Rises movie.
Oh, jeez.
Whenever a superhero decides to take off like a decade or close to a decade, just because someone dies, drives me crazy. Because usually, I mean, for Batman, it's because he would never do that. He would double down. You know, he would become an even angrier Batman. Hence, Batfleck. That's how it would work. But it drove me crazy the whole episode because you'd see Future Barry walk in or whatever and be like, "What are you still doing here?" And it's like, "What do you do?" Like, obviously,
he's like Stoner Barry.
It's like, I'm sure you don't have a job. He doesn't do anything. Like, you just sit there and look at pictures.
Oh, and then Star Labs just gets up and running like that, and
I mean, it drove me nuts. Like, what have you been doing for 7 years? Because he doesn't fight crime. He doesn't look like he has a job. He doesn't hang out with his family. So,
what do you do?
Look at pictures.
He just tortures himself. That's why he's all crazy. Emo.
I mean, if it had been a year, if this was like a year in the future, it'd be fine. It'd be fine.
Because it's 7 years in the future. It's 2024.
That's a lot of time.
It is a long time.
to do nothing.
Also, the whole future thing, I think, they might have answered this one too. When he starts talking, she didn't develop the technology until 4 years ago. I was like, okay, so go visit current Tracy, whatever, and take the knowledge back to past Tracy. I would have liked it had it been Stein's daughter.
That would be...
At first he said it, and I was like, oh, I don't think that's her name. And it's not. But as soon as they said a physicist, I was like, oh, Stein's daughter. No.
She didn't even cross my mind. Yeah, that would have been a good guess.
But it's not. And I will see who she is.
But there were some great moments though. When Barry's going back to the past, and Cisco says, "You know you're my BFF, right?"
Oh yeah.
And that was a nice moment.
And we're like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
That makes me Doc.
Yeah. Him hugging Joe.
Yes.
And Joe going, I don't know which one of you to hug first. And that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was
But
great.
then hugging Joe and telling him he loves him when he gets back.
I like the end, how it ended with like the word blurred and they were walking into the Star Labs or whatever. It's a minor thing, but
I thought it ended on Caitlin and Savitar.
Well, that's the
their scene. Okay, I get it.
Thing.
Okay.
But there's some great music in that moment with Joe. So there's a lot of good things like that, you know. They did mention the doubling down concept, but it's just like still 7 years has passed. So
yeah, real quick. So when they want to go to the future and the past, they just run really fast and a portal opens up.
we've talked about this. How it drives me crazy because
I think this is the first time I've actually seen it.
They did it again too. Well, yeah, because it's the same thing with the Speed Force. Because in the episode a couple weeks ago, they just vibed him into the Speed Force, which is stupid. But yeah, he's in comic books. He has like a treadmill. It's called the Cosmic Treadmill, and it like amplifies his power and it shoots him into the.
But what I'm saying though is they just run a certain speed and a portal opens up.
Yeah, it's basically.
So Barry or Wally's been trying to break his speed all the time. So how come that didn't open every time he ran?
It's a big flaw because technically they run into the future. They have to run past this point of the speed of light, which brings me to the beginning of the episode where somehow Caitlin disappears.
Yeah,
and Barry can't catch her.
Yeah.
But then a couple of minutes later, he apparently goes fast enough to throw himself into time.
Wally did that.
The future. Well, Wally helped him, but yeah, it's to be able to even get to that point, even with Wally helping him, he would still have to be moving fast enough that he should have been able to catch Caitlin. This is basically my.
Yeah, I mean, they said the explosion did it the first time. The first time he went into the future, it was the explosion. I don't know what explosion.
Yeah.
And then he explained that Barry would be running 3 times as fast as that explosion force.
Okay.
So that's how I took it.
It's still the thing where he regularly runs at like Mach 3.
Right.
And he still can't do
He can't catch Caitlin.
Yeah. So yeah, that is like a big kind of flaw. I don't know what the writers. I don't know.
Okay, anything else? We're running out of time.
Ooh, one last thing, and it makes me feel bad to crap on the Flash so bad. But that little gimmick, the little device that was used to keep Barry in the future, how it suddenly turns off the vertigo, and then it allows him to jump into the mirror world.
Right, and all Cisco did was like,
yeah.
So I agree. It was one of those quick fixes because it was a pointless visit, except for if they kill Iris and Barry had to go see what the world became when he couldn't handle losing the love of his life. So, ramped up. Oh, we didn't talk about Rhea at the end.
I'm just kidding. That was a nice twist.
Like, why is she there with Lena?
So that I actually have that in my notes because I'm hoping it's kind of a season 9 of Smallville where Zod and the Kryptonians come out of the Phantom Zone, and they're integrated into the human population, and Zod creates his own company.
Whoa!
And yeah, it's like part of his whole plan to take over the world or whatever and gain superpowers, because for some reason he can't or something. But yeah, so I'm hoping that's kind of the road that they're going with. I was just very pleased that it wasn't Lillian because I don't like her.
Well, yeah. I think it's interesting that she's going to Lena, so we'll see what her play is there. And other spoiler news, so if you don't want to be spoiled, suck it up, because I gotta talk to somebody about it.
Is it Supergirl stuff?
Yes.
I don't care.
It's rude. Rude! Looks like there's an all-out war that breaks out. The Daxamites and everything. The NCPD gets attacked, and there is Floriana Lima with a shotgun, and it looks badass. It just looks badass. Like, she's coming out on the street, there's cops fighting everywhere, and then she's just walking out, ramped up with her shotgun, ready to bust some ass. So I think the next, 4 episodes? Yeah, 19, 20, 21, and 22 are gonna just be up here. We get started off with Alex. There's a good old Tumblr. There's a picture of Tyler Hoechlin, Maggie, or Floriana Lima and Carly, and he's
off the camera.
Yes, but someone cut out Maggie and so they cut out Carly and Floriana Lima, and they made it just Tyler Hoechlin as Superman, and it says, "When you meet your cousin's fuckboy boyfriend and you don't like him." Sorry, I just love when the fandom does stuff like that.
Oh, it blew up.
Oh I cussed again.
Yeah, you did.
What blew up?
Everyone, because there's this whole, it's not like a huge faction, but it's like, it was like the DCEU, the movies versus the TV shows, where it was like, everyone who was a Henry Cavill fan was like, not my Superman. And it's like, look at this guy. Because
he flipped off the camera. I was wondering if anyone was going to say anything
I get it a little bit because Hoechlin was kind of a douche to Cavill.
Really?
So yeah, like he had an interview.
Oh, I remember you telling this.
Yeah, and he was like, Superman is not about being the ultimate masculine figure or whatever. It's like, yes, he is. You idiot. But he's like, Superman's supposed to be all this, this, and this, this. And it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's the war of the fandoms. Like, it's never gonna.
Except for Henry Cavill won today because it's Superhero Day, and he released a picture on Instagram, and like he hashtagged, like he tagged like every superhero, like Marvel, X-Men, everyone. He tagged them, and so everyone's super gay for Henry now. So.
I'm not.
What?
That would be super straight for me, for Henry.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I thought you liked him.
I am amped for Supergirl. I'm excited for Arrow. We'll see about Flash. We'll get there in a minute, but maybe it can turn you around, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes, how it's going to end, and I'm still going to stick at least through season 3 and give it a chance. It might turn into a Teen Wolf where I'm just like, I don't know why I watched this other than the pretty people. I watched Teen Wolf for, oh my god, it's Dylan O'Brien.
He's going to be...
Oh my god, American Assassin.
Yeah.
And it's got Sana Lathan from Love and Basketball. Okay, we're getting off topic.
I wasn't going to say him, but...
Her.
Who's he playing it with? Robert De Niro or someone? Like, someone huge?
Oh, no. No, it's...
He's starring alongside someone, like,
Is it
A-list.
Robert De Niro?
It's someone like him, like, up there.
Oh my gosh, who was it?
It's driving me nuts.
Well, we have Google. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
American Assassin looks good, but so Supergirl might turn into where I watch it for the pretty people.
Yeah, and I'm a little more excited for Supergirl because, like I said, I like this episode a lot. It was the Bees episode done well. Arrow.
Oh, the Bees episode?
Yeah, like the nanite bees that were chasing everyone and stuff with the girl from...
Oh my god, that's right. Yes, the Bees.
Yeah. It was that episode done right.
Oh. Yeah, because that episode...
Although I do like Emily Kinney, or whatever her name was from...
Like, comment, and subscribe, please. We'll see you again in a week, for sure. And please subscribe and come talk to us on Tumblr. And we'll see if Jadon's hair changes in a week. Thanks, guys.
Maybe I'll shave.